The hero of this video is of a different caliber. His popularity and his results work together in a very balanced symbiosis. He has the good looks to appeal to girls. He moves cool and fast, and his name has been known for years, even though he is only 24. Thanks to the internet, which once burned Ryan Garcia's star, now this guy is making up for all the advance he received on the internet and going into the ring. Let's evaluate the brightest victories. The Flash is known for dealing with his opponents very quickly. That's where the nickname comes from. So here are his fastest victories by knockout. Let's go. Let's start with the fight against Francisco Fonseca. The guys were a headliner from a show on DAZN. At that time, Ryan was already a champion in two versions, WBC Silver and WBO NABO. With this fight, he defended his honor and the WBC lightweight title. It's worth noting that even with championships and a personal record of 20-0, King Rye still had to prove the popularity he had. This guy shows by his example that sometimes behind a long tongue, there is a language of facts and knockouts. The Mexican prospect does his best to make sure that all the preparatory procedures take longer than the fight itself. Although, frankly, even Garcia was surprised by such a quick victory. Despite the fact that Ryan is a right-handed fighter, it was his 3 left hooks that helped him turn off the lights. Fonseca missed as many as 3 punches, which deprived him of an opportunity to become the 3rd boxing champion, representing Nicaragua at that time. The Mexican came into the fight confident, calm, charged, and spent those 80 seconds in absolute harmony, taking almost no damage. Meanwhile, the owner of Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, couldn't stop looking at his main star. He saw great prospects for cooperation with the internet star, and even then, the young Mexican was looking forward to a match with Davis, but he had to wait another 3 years. Ryan became famous even before he started his professional boxing career, but his amateur record also emphasized that he had a great future. I think he made his first loud statement in the ring in September 2017. In a fight against Miguel Carrizosa, the vacant WBC NABF Junior Super Featherweight title was being played out. It was the first opportunity for the Flash to win his first professional gold at a very young age. The fight could be called an easy walk. Yes, Garcia didn't look too confident, but he was very focused. He didn't rush. He kept his defense. And as soon as he got the opportunity, he hit. In fact, it will not be possible to analyze this fight in detail because there is nothing to analyze. Only in the 12th second, Miguel falls down exhausted, having missed a whipping hook. Even then, the fight could have been stopped, but Carrizosa had the nerve to get up. The referee asked the boxer, "What's my name?" to make sure he was still able to continue the fight. Why he was satisfied with the answer, "Ref," is hard for us to understand, but he gave his approval and the fight continued for just a second longer. Then it was over. That is, in fact, the fight didn't even last 30 seconds, as indicated on the timer and recorded in all reports on the fight, but only 10. 10 seconds and a couple of accurate punches are sometimes enough for Ryan Garcia to just take it and become a champion. Here's an example of a fight where things didn't develop as quickly as he wanted, even though the opponent had nothing interesting to offer. Opposite Garcia is the 29-year-old American Jones, who has only 3 professional fights. So-so opposition, we have to admit. This fight could have gone the distance of 6 rounds, so the main tactic for Devin was nothing less than survive. Looking ahead, I will say that he failed. From the first seconds of this confrontation, you can see how uncertain and clumsy Jones moves and what strange hand movements he makes. The lack of training and little fighting experience make themselves felt. King Rye looks much better against this background. He defends himself until he sees the prospect of a quick, lightning-fast submission. He hits very fast, but not very often. He understands the power of such shots, and therefore doesn't often work with combinations. He exhausts his opponent with unexpected blows and acts more psychologically. There were only 45 seconds left in the first round, but the Flash caught his opponent's head with his right hand. It was a good hit, which immediately sent a signal to his head that he should try to finish him off and score another quick point. Jones didn't put up with it, so he went for a takedown. The result is simple. He falls into a very weak knockdown. Nothing critical for him, but an unnecessary loss of strength and points in a fight where you are far from the favorite. The second round comes, and everyone realizes that it's only a matter of time before Jones goes down and doesn't get up again. There is simply no chance. He falls down several times, in fact, goes on the attack, and his arm swings, no matter how many of them there are shattered by one more or less accurate punch from Garcia. That was the final chord. That was the victory, again without any difficulties. We are well aware that a fighter must gradually earn attention, rankings, and get more difficult opponents. Devin was already the 8th victory for Ryan in his professional career. It's time to put the guy in the race for titles. Let him prove his suitability for the elite of this sport on a competitive level. And Garcia hasn't stopped winning until now. There is no pressure on him. He goes out and makes a show. Let's take a look at one of the fastest knockouts in Ryan's career. It was his 10th professional fight, a big date, a fight against a very experienced Mario Macias. Macias was much smaller, so he looked a little comical against the athletic and young Ryan. It was just one hook to get a feel for the rest of the fight. To find out at what distance to work. Yes, we can't help but say that Macias looked good defensively, but he's not the right age to counteract that kind of speed. So he took one punch to get the hang of it, and then Ryan just kept hitting him one after another. He pressed, feeling completely secure. And again, it was the same old pattern. One knockdown, then the opponent is still ready to fight, but 10 seconds will be too much for him. As a conclusion, this is a powerful and quite striking victory, one of the many on the account of King Rai. Now let's look at a fully developed star, Ryan Garcia, when he fully feels like the king of the entire universe, not just the ring. His fight against Fernando Vargas. This is his second defense of the WBC NABF Junior Super Featherweight title. The audience is rooting for the champion. Vargas has a good record, with twice as many wins, and he was only 29 years old at the time. I have to give Vargas his due. He looks very cool from the first seconds, very competitive. He hits at different levels, follows the hands of the young Mexican. The height of the Flash didn't help, because the opponent comes with punches and dictates his own rules. Even though the first minute was not very confident from Ryan, the second minute went much better. He keeps the block. He throws the jabs so that the opponent does not rest and does not lose his vigilance. And he didn't hit, of course, open chopping combinations. The advantage could have gone to anyone, but the denouement was worth your time. First, this powerful right hand, right on the jaw, and then a pause. Another right hook, and then immediately, boom, this diamond left. It's just the beauty of boxing. Fernando Vargas's emergency shutdown came so fast and so loud. That's right, let the whole room hear what kind of powerful blows those who come out against this avenue can withstand. The 9th fight of Ryan Garcia's career. He faced Tyrone Hands of Stone Lucky, a fighter with a record of 16 wins and 19 losses. The first round wasn't interesting, so we're jumping right into the second. This is where the whole fight comes to a head. Everyone knows and understands that you should watch out for the Flash's hands. He hits fast and without enough attention. Each punch will be a terrible surprise. A separate beauty of Ryan's style is his execution of the uppercut. He moves his hands away, and that's why he can get this punch out of the way and from a distance. The whole second round, he just smashes his opponent to pieces. Tyrone begins to work on Garcia's body, but risking everything, he misses an uppercut, so he starts to float. And then Ryan throws a couple of very big right hands and finishes it off with a left hook. Lucky ends up with half of his body outside the ring, so the referee decides to stop this beating. Despite the fact that Tyrone hasn't lost consciousness, when a fight is so obviously developing, it's important to find the right moment when it's fair to stop the fight. Now to King Rye's more recent victories. Romero Duno was supposed to be a real test for Ryan. Besides, the fight was for 2 titles at once. An incredible responsibility hung on the guy, who was only 21 years old at the time. Aggression is the key word of the whole fight. It's like the main motivation for both of them. They looked angry and fearless from the first seconds. Romero chooses a rather interesting tactic. He presses his opponent by walking on bent legs, and King Rye throws hooks over and over again, landing each of these punches well. Garcia misses a few body shots in the clinch and then tries to keep his distance with jabs. Yes, several punches shook our hero today, but the Mexican ate it up without any problems and didn't even really feel it. And then another combination, and this great left hook right to the temple. It seems to me that Duno believed for 1 second that it wasn't over yet. His body failed him, turning off the hazard lights, and Romero just folded. Such a significant victory once again showed that you should never write off the Flash as a favorite in advance. Neither his young age, nor his style, nor even his appearance should mislead you. That's all we have to say about it. We hope you will appreciate our work by liking and commenting. Share your emotions and expectations from Ryan Garcia's next fight. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's never boring with us. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to Sport Legends.